Clashes between backers of rival governments have killed at least 13 people and wounded nearly 100. 6 hospitals were also damaged. Witnesses reported hearing heavy gunfire and several loud blasts on Saturday. Let's speak to analyst Ahmed Sewehli joining us from Manchester in the UK. Ahmed, this is a nightmare situation. I mean, it was only months ago this country was talking about heading into elections. That obviously couldn't happen, but now this?
Well, thank you for starting with that, actually, because as you said, the plan was for the country to have elections. But unfortunately, Khalifa Haftar, as usual, since 2014, he has opposed any kind of elections with force, with a threat of force. Now he has 2 new members of his, can I say, anti-election violent force, which he's now using, and that is Fathi Bashagha and Osama Jwaili, both who are military men, by the way. Now, they both took part in the Geneva conference talks, which was under the auspices of the United Nations, which came up with a government. Now, Fathi Bashagha and Osama Jwaili, as well as Aguila Saleh, were part of a list which competed for taking the government spot, basically, in Tripoli. But they lost in an election in Geneva, and they are now the ones who have used force to try and this coup d'etat in Tripoli, that 13 people have been killed. Al-Shara al-Zawiya Hospital, which is the central hospital in Tripoli, was right in the midst of that fighting. And, really, there has to be a time where the international community takes action against the belligerents who keep attacking Tripoli again and again. I've been in contact with people, with families in Tripoli today. I mean, my parents and family are there as well. But there was a lady who was telling me, I'm a psychiatrist. She was telling me, what can I do with my children? My children are absolutely scared to death. 24 hours, I could hear in the background missiles, shelling, bullets, and kids screaming. It cannot be that the people who do this are allowed to get away with it again and again. That's the problem.
All right, and I found it interesting. In your background, you were the head of mental health in Libya, right? And this is a country that is so exhausted by first war and then more political turmoil. This has to be incredibly jarring for this country. I mean, many people describe this situation as people just exhausted from this.
Absolutely. I mean, what happened in the last 24 hours was the most severe violence there has been since the 2019-2020 war against Tripoli by a number of countries. And this is where, in the end, it was Turkey which stopped Russian Wagner Group from taking Tripoli in 2020. What happened last night brought back memories of that because people are still suffering from the effects of that. Now, what has happened is that the government of national unity has fought back with fire, basically, and they have stopped the Fathi Bashagha's forces, which came from Misrata. They were defeated, sent back to Misrata. The city of Misrata itself, for example, where both Fathi Bashagha and the Prime Minister are both from, Dbeiba, they've said they've had enough of this, and I don't think they're going to allow this to happen again. Also, Osama Jwaili, who is a military officer, who was with the forces that fought and defended Tripoli against the Wagner Group in 2019 and 20. He defected to Haftar. He has been told that he mustn't do this. Unfortunately, they told the Western ambassadors that they would use force to try and take power. There's only one solution, and that is elections. Those people who are trying to stop elections, people of Libya, they want to lead a normal life like any other place in the world, have elections, choose their leaders. Any issues between any politicians, these can be solved in the courts, politically, but this has become a kind of fashion where people are allowed to just fight and bomb again and again. The international community really has to take a stance now and stop these belligerents. It is really unfair on the people of Libya. 40 years they were under Gaddafi rule, and since then they have not been allowed to build a democratic, prosperous country, which is a sovereign country too.
Yeah, very well put. Ahmed Sewehli, a pleasure talking to you.